While medieval Pembroke, just down the road, grew slowly around winding lanes and castle walls, Pembroke Dock is something entirely different. This is not a town that evolved over centuries, it was deliberately created. In 1814, someone quite literally sat down with a ruler and a compass and designed an entire town from scratch. Streets were laid out in straight lines, arranged in a precise grid, not for beauty, but for purpose. This was a town built to do a job, to serve the most powerful navy in the world. Before that, this land was quiet farmland known as Paterchurch, a handful of farms, a medieval tower that still stands today, and very little else. The Royal Navy had first tried to buy land across the water at Milford Haven, but the price was too high, so the Admiralty's surveyors came here instead. What they found was better. Deep water, a natural harbour, sheltered and secure, perfect conditions. And so, in 1814, the Royal Navy Dockyard was founded. Empty fields were transformed almost overnight into Britain's newest industrial centre. Pembroke Dock became the only town in the United Kingdom purpose-built from nothing to serve a royal dockyard. For 112 years, the dockyard was everything. This was not a repair yard. This was a place where ships that shaped history were built. Between 1814 and 1926, 263 naval vessels and 5 royal yachts were launched here. Some became legendary. HMS Erebus, lost with Sir John Franklin while searching for the Northwest Passage. HMS Duke of Wellington, a 140-gun giant and the pinnacle of wooden warship design before iron and steam changed naval warfare forever. When technology moved on, Pembroke Dock moved with it, building ironclads such as HMS Dreadnought and HMS Thunderer. The dockyard reshaped more than the land, it reshaped lives. Workers arrived from across Britain, England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland, drawn by steady wages and skilled work. The population grew from a few hundred people to more than 11,000 by 1901. Streets filled with shipwrights, carpenters, riggers and blacksmiths, many starting new lives in a town that had barely existed a generation earlier. Life was hard at first, but over time they built more than ships. They built schools, chapels, markets, and a strong civic community. To protect all of this, the hills above the town were turned into a fortress. The most striking feature was the defensible barracks, completed in the 1840s, a vast star-shaped structure overlooking the dockyard. Between 1859 and 1860, a young officer named Charles George Gordon was stationed here. Long before he became known as Gordon of Khartoum, he was overseeing gun towers in a Welsh naval town. Local tradition suggests it was here that his strong religious beliefs and concern for the poor began to take shape. When the dockyard closed in 1926, the impact was brutal. Employment vanished almost overnight, businesses failed, food tickets were introduced. One local leader described it as the cruelest blow the town had ever suffered. Once again, geography offered a way forward. The same deep, sheltered waters that had served warships were ideal for flying boats. In 1930, the Royal Air Force arrived. By the Second World War, Pembroke Dock had become the largest operational flying boat station in the world. The short Sunderland became the town's new symbol, nicknamed the Flying Porcupine, patrolling the Atlantic in search of enemy submarines. Crews came from across the world, including Australian squadrons. One Sunderland, serial number T90444, sank during a gale in 1940 and still lies on the seabed today. It is the only surviving Mark I Sunderland anywhere in the world. Such importance also made the town a target. On August the 19th, 1940, German bombers attacked the Admiralty's oil tanks at Pennar. The resulting fire burned for 18 days, one of the largest fires in British history. The heat was so intense that firefighters had to be rotated constantly. 5 men from the Cardiff Fire Brigade lost their lives when a tank collapsed. They are still remembered here. Between August 1940 and June 1941, Pembroke Dock became a front-line town. Air raids brought not only physical destruction, but deep psychological trauma. The defining tragedy came in May 1941, when during what became known as the Night of Terror, parachute mines fell on residential streets, obliterating the Victorian terraces of Laws Street and Gwither Street. For a town of this size, the loss was devastating. 6 members of the Pounder and Brazel family were killed in a single explosion. 3 generations of the same family, a stark reminder that total war reached the doorsteps of dockyard workers. The scars are still visible today, now shown as gaps in the streets where the houses once stood. For decades, crossing the Cleddau River to reach Neyland meant either a long journey by road or a short ferry crossing. By water, the distance was just over 1 kilometre. Paddle steamers came first, followed by the familiar Cleddau King and Cleddau Queen, both built locally. They carried people, cars, and everyday life back and forth until 1975, when the bridge finally opened. After the military presence declined in the 1960s, the old Western Way hangars took on an unexpected role. In the 1970s, craftsmen working quietly inside, building the first full-scale Millennium Falcon for the second film in the Star Wars trilogy, The Empire Strikes Back. Yes, the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy was created right here. Today, the restored Dockyard Chapel houses the Pembroke Dock Heritage Centre. Ferries still sail to Ireland, but the real story is written in what remains: the gun towers, the barracks, the dockyard walls, and the straight, purposeful streets. This is a town that was drawn on a map before the first stone was laid, built to serve a clear purpose, and that clarity is exactly what makes Pembroke Dock so distinctive.